Are you sure?
Here's the 30-second lesson on what legends know. Never ask a bride why she's getting married. Don't wear a skirt on a windy day. Deodorant is not a shower. Don't sniff chili flakes. And don't forget, saving is not investing. Legends don't just save, they invest in mutual funds. Mutual fund investments are subject to market risks. Read all scheme-related documents carefully.
The India Alliance has had two successive setbacks. First in Haryana, to a lesser extent an India Alliance defeat, more a Congress defeat. But now Maharashtra, which is purely an India Alliance defeat. And this is a debacle. Haryana wasn't a debacle. This is a debacle. So the question being asked in many places, and I'm sure it's on the minds of most of us, is what is the future of India Alliance? Did the alliance work? Did it only work to some extent in Lok Sabha elections and now its use by date is over? Something else will come up or may not come up. Why have things gone wrong? What is difference between these alliances and other alliances in the past, say NDA for example or UPA? All those questions are now floating. So I will go point by point over the prospects for India Alliance. And after I do that, I will also talk about the life of a remarkable politician just for a few minutes, and I will give you some hints. One, he was from Maharashtra. Second, today is his death anniversary. That's the reason I am bringing it in. One, it's his death anniversary, and second, there is also the Maharashtra context. Third, he is somebody who held all key positions in Government of India except the Prime Minister. So Home, Defense, Finance, External Affairs Minister, also Chairman of Finance Commission, but Deputy Prime Minister as well. Deputy Prime Minister, but never Prime Minister. Some of you might have guessed the name already. However, I will tell you as we go along. That will be a tribute in conclusion. So first of all, India Alliance. India Alliance, as I told you, point number one, has suffered two setbacks in Maharashtra and Haryana, but there was also a partial setback. So we have to count that. In Haryana, the alliance didn't work. Congress party there refused to give any seats at all to Aam Aadmi Party or to Samajwadi Party. Now, Congress Party would have said, oh, this is our territory. Why are these people coming in? Why should we give them space? But that is the problem. When you have an alliance, you have to have a bigger heart, which Congress Party did not. So, Aam Aadmi Party did not win anything, but they fouled up things enough to influence at least 3 constituencies, if not more. And in many other constituencies, if the vote that they got, which was marginal, they lost their deposits in most, if that had come, being anti-BJP vote, if that had come to Congress, and if Kejriwal had also gone and campaigned for Congress from constituency to constituency, he's a much better campaigner than almost anybody in the Congress party, the party would have benefited and the alliance would have benefited. Similarly, Samajwadi Party, if they were given a stake in Haryana, then the Yadav vote in Haryana, of the 11 Yadav-dominated seats in Haryana, which also happened to be having a large Muslim vote, that is the Rewari, Mahendragarh, Gurgaon, Mewat, that area, of the 11 seats, BJP won 10. If Akhilesh Yadav was given a few seats there, maybe he would have won some, plus the Yadav vote elsewhere in Haryana also, at least part of it would have moved towards the Congress party. So that wasn't done. Congress party, in fact, made sure they are the ones responsible that Haryana was not fought by the India Alliance. It was fought by them alone, and we know the result. Maharashtra, however, was fought by them together with a reasonable cohesion, but things didn't work out, so that's a much bigger setback. A partial setback was also Jammu and Kashmir. Jammu and Kashmir, India Alliance includes both regional parties with the Congress party, that is Mehbooba Mufti's PDP and the Abdullah family's National Conference. PDP, Mehbooba Mufti, decided to stay out of elections. So they contested on their own, suffered a big setback, but India Alliance again did not function as one. So this is, I will count this as 2.5 setbacks for India Alliance. Before we look at the future, we have to see why things have gone wrong. Number one, the alliance has no structure. It has no structure, no secretariat. It had set up a 14-member coordination committee in September 2023, which had a meeting or two. There was also talk at one point of setting up a joint coordination committee for the media. However, did not go anywhere because there are lots of contradictions which are ideological as well as political and electoral between members of the INDI Alliance, and we'll talk about them as we go along. So one, no structure. Second, no leadership. There is no leadership means, all right, you don't want to have a president, but you can always have a convener. In the past, when these alliances were built, before you decide your actions today or for the future, plan for the future, you have to also learn from the past. So in the past, the Congress used to be the dominant party, by far more dominant than even the BJP is now, because when these alliances first came up in a formal or semi-formal manner in 1989, then the Congress party was in majority. At that point of time, the opposition got together. So they put together an alliance called National Front. That was 1989. But BJP was sort of leading it from behind. It wasn't in the front, but it was the main inspiration and driving force. But who was put in front? It was VP Singh, who had broken away from Rajiv Gandhi on the pretext that his government was indulging in corruption. So that's how corruption became an issue. And this National Front made VP Singh the main campaigner and then putative prime ministerial candidate, although there were some challenges after that. But who was the chairman? N.T. Rama Rao of Telugu Desam party in combined Andhra Pradesh then. So what did they do? They gave a position and respect and a stake to the leader of a strong state party. Combined Andhra Pradesh then sent 42 MPs to national parliament. So very powerful state, but they made him the leader of the National Front. Once again, the same pattern was followed in 1996 when United Front was formed to keep the BJP out of power. It was supported by Congress from outside, and that's when Deve Gowda's government came into power, followed by Indra Kumar Gujral's government. In that coalition, UF, United Front, Chandrababu Naidu, that is NTR's son-in-law, he was made the convener. So once again, the pride of place was given to the leader of a regional party, a distant regional party, while the front may have drawn a lot of its support and its MPs from the Hindi heartland. So it wasn't given to Mulayam Singh Yadav, it wasn't given to Lalu Yadav, it was given to Chandrababu Naidu. That is how you build these wide coalitions with one common interest. Common interest is to keep somebody else out of power or to keep or weaken a very dominant party or a dominant group, which by 1996 was the BJP and the Hindutva forces. So this was a part ideological alliance as well. But once again, a leader was chosen, and the leader was chosen from a distant state. Then 1998, NDA was formally launched. As NDA was formally launched, Atal Bihari Vajpayee was the chairman of NDA. That's when the BJP came back to power after his 13-day misadventure in 1996. 1998, they came to power again, properly this time, and that government lasted for a year. Who was then named the convener of National Democratic Alliance, NDA. It wasn't anybody from BJP, but it was George Fernandes. George Fernandes, then from Samata Party, what ultimately in a way morphed into JDU. So George Fernandes became the convener of NDA. After George Fernandes, he was succeeded by Sharad Yadav, who also is a leader of JDU. Sharad Yadav then became the convener in 2008. This is after George Fernandes became very sick and couldn't function. Sharad Yadav became the convener. Until 2013, Sharad Yadav remained the convener until JDU pulled away from NDA. Once JDA ceased to be a member of NDA, obviously Sharad Yadav left. But even after that, think about who was named to be convener of National Democratic Alliance. This is in the Modi era. It was none else than Chandrababu Naidu. Again, what was the philosophy? The philosophy was that a big central party, core party, has the largest vested interest in the alliance surviving and doing well. They are powerful enough in their own right. If there is a prime ministership tomorrow, they will get it by right because they will have the largest numbers of MPs. But to get there, you have to weaken a dominant power, which in this case was the Congress. Today, it's the BJP for this INDI Alliance. In that case, it was the Congress. To weaken that, try and keep everybody together. And that's why, once again, Chandrababu Naidu was made the convener of NDA after Sharad Yadav's party or Nitish Kumar's party, JDU, pulled away in 2013. Until 2018, Chandrababu Naidu was the convener of NDA until his party, TDP, broke away from NDA. So those are the lessons of history that obviously India Alliance has not learned. In the process, India Alliance does not have a convener. It does not have a convener. It does not have a president. Why? I can only guess. Probably the reason is that the Congress would think that, look, we are by far the largest party, so we should have that position. However, they came close at one point to giving it to Nitish Kumar. It is when they got cold feet at the last moment, or maybe they figured out something about Nitish Kumar. However, Nitish's people say that this was the reason that triggered his departure yet again from this so-called secular alliance, India Alliance, to the BJP. Nitish left, but until then it was being understood that he was going to be the convener of the new India Alliance. So India Alliance now continues without a secretariat, without a managing body, without a leader, without a convener. Next point, in Maharashtra and Haryana, both in Maharashtra and Haryana, there was the Congress overhang. In both places, Congress thought they were the much bigger party and they should dominate the proceedings. In Maharashtra, for example, the inability of the alliance to name a chief ministerial candidate and then to say that whoever wins the largest number of seats will get the chief ministership. What happened in the process was that the three alliance partners also started playing games with each other in such a way that they wanted the alliance to win, but they wanted the other alliance partners not to get too many seats. How do you run a three-wheel vehicle like that when each wheel actually wants to weaken the other two, or at least wishes that the other two are weaker? So once again, there was a Congress overhang. If the Congress had focused and decided that, look, the important thing is to keep the BJP alliance out, we can make sacrifices for now. We'll see what happens in the future. This is something that I had tried to address in a recent national interest article also, where I had said that time has now come for the Congress to decide whether it wants to work towards survival or revival. Because unless you have survival, you can't think of revival. At the same time, that contradiction in the Congress party continues. That's the reason both Maharashtra and Haryana had a big heavy Congress overhang. Next point, fifth point, there is ideological confusion and there are conflicts of interest. Conflicts of interest, the clearest example is Congress and Aam Aadmi Party. Now, the states where the Congress is strong are also states where Aam Aadmi Party is strong or wants to be strong. Punjab and Delhi, Congress party used to rule. Aam Aadmi Party is today dominant in both the states. So it's an adversary of the Congress in both the states. So how is it possible for Congress and Aam Aadmi Party to work together in the rest of the country, but not in Punjab and Delhi, where both of them have big stakes? And this will come up in Goa going ahead as well. That is the one clear case of conflict. Then you have other kinds of complex conflicts. For example, West Bengal. By far the most popular individual leader in the India Alliance is Mamata Banerjee, without a doubt. Without a doubt. Look at her performance now in the by-elections in West Bengal as well. She has defeated the BJP single-handedly again and again and again. But in West Bengal, she is split from India Alliance because Congress is aligned with the left. Because Congress is aligned with the left, she cannot align with the Congress party. Until recently, Congress's own state chief, Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary, was constantly baiting and trolling Mamata Banerjee. He's been removed now. Maybe that's an olive branch to her. But the fact is that the left is her sworn enemy. There is no way she'll go with the left anywhere. Left will be fighting her. If the Congress is fighting alongside the left in her state, that creates a big rift in the India Alliance. And look at the contradictions. I told you this is a more complex contradiction. Because in West Bengal, Congress has the left as the partner and they fight Mamata Banerjee together. Whereas in Kerala, the same Congress is fighting the left. In Tamil Nadu, the Congress and the left are partners with DMK, who are all members of the India Alliance. And by way of a final note of absurdity, please look at Haryana, where Congress party denied any space either to Samajwadi Party or to Aam Aadmi Party, who could have made a difference to its own fortunes. But but gave one seat to CPM, Bhiwani. Why was that given? I don't know. Because there is no way the left could have transferred any votes anywhere to the Congress party. So that shows also ideological confusion within the Congress party. And Congress party being at the core of India Alliance, it makes things that much more complicated. Delhi conflict, in fact, becomes even clearer by the recent entry of Mateen Ahmed. Mateen Ahmed is a 5-time MLA from Selampur from the Congress party. He's just joined Aam Aadmi party. So right now, these two are functioning as clear rivals. Congress has also carried out a Padyatra in Delhi to highlight the failures of Aam Aadmi parties. These are the examples of conflicts and contradictions which are electoral. There are also key issue contradictions. For example, if you see in Maharashtra, during the campaign, Adani was a big election issue for Rahul Gandhi. Adani was not only no issue for Sharad Pawar. During the election campaign, you probably might have noticed, Sharad Pawar gave interviews that it is wrong, it's unfair to accuse Adani of having quote-unquote stolen Dharavi. He said that Adani actually was reluctant to do Dharavi but had to be persuaded. So there are these key issue confusions as well between the alliance members, and obviously they haven't sat together and decided on what the Americans call 3x5 cards, on which you can write your party line, your alliance's party line on 5 or 6 key issues that come up in the country. That Americanism, by the way, 3x5 cards, came up during the START talks under Reagan administration, when the US government was worried that different officials might say things in a very sensitive negotiation to the media and elsewhere, which might cause contradictions. So it was like, write your 5 talking points, exact lines to use on a 3x5 card by 3x5, because that is the card of the size that can fit in a jacket's pocket. In this case, India Alliance has done no such thing. Then you see who are the key elements in India Alliance. Congress is one, but then look at parties which are very strong in their states, because without them there is no justification or need for India Alliance, because Congress will in any case get 19-20% votes in the country with very few seats. How did Congress party's numbers double, for example? That's because the alliance worked in the last election. So who are the strongest members of India Alliance? DMK, Tamil Nadu, TMC in West Bengal, RJD in Bihar, Samajwadi Party in Uttar Pradesh, NCP and Shiv Sena, both are punch-drunk, but both contributed to Modi being reduced to 240 in the last election. So these are the key elements in India Alliance. How exactly are they being given respect, space? Who's talking with them? Who's trying to make sure that there is cohesion in the alliance? Because if there is no cohesion in the alliance, it will be very difficult for it to survive, because it's a matter of time before some start moving away. Now, elections that are coming up, the larger alliance will not feature in them. However, many tests will come. Bihar, next year, I told you Delhi, we'll have to see whether Congress fights against Aam Aadmi party or finally there is some kind of an adjustment. Although it looks tough right now, but Bihar all right, Congress and left are with RJD, so that alliance will be there. Then in 2026, Assam will be almost a straight fight, Congress versus the BJP. Kerala will be a straight fight, Congress versus the left, with the BJP footprint growing there. West Bengal will be a test for India Alliance. Has the Congress broken away from the left by then and given Mamta the assurance that they are not joining hands with the left to fight her, and thereby seeking a little bit of space in her tent? However little it might be, because it will look very stupid again if the Congress is fighting alongside the left against Mamta Banerjee in West Bengal, and at the same time fighting against the left in Kerala. And then as we go ahead, 2027, Congress SP will be on trial in Uttar Pradesh, and then Uttarakhand and Goa will come up. Uttarakhand, Goa, Punjab, Manipur, and towards the end of 2027, Himachal Pradesh and Gujarat will come up. In most of these, either the India Alliance will not be contesting, barring say Uttar Pradesh, and some their members will be at odds with each other. For example, Goa and Punjab, for sure. That's how the picture looks for India Alliance as we future gaze. And if I may say so, the future does not look that bright unless the alliance begins to take itself seriously, does not conclude that its job ended with last summer's general elections, finds a convener, finds a management committee, finds a forum where leaders meet often and also either sort out these contradictions and conflicts or find a way of walking around them. So that is about India Alliance. Now I come to the interesting leader that I wanted to talk about from Maharashtra. Today is the death anniversary. 25th of November is the death anniversary of Yashvantrao, Balwantrao, Chavan Sahib as he was called, strongman Maratha from Maharashtra, the first chief minister of Maharashtra state. Maharashtra state came into being in 1960 when Gujarat broke away. He was the first chief minister, became an activist very young, went to jail in the freedom movement at the age of 17, was still a minor. He was carrying a tricolor in Satara in 1930 as part of Mahatma Gandhi's non-cooperation movement, and then did much else during the freedom movement, including going to jail during Quit India movement. By this time, he was chief minister. 1962, India lost the war very badly to China, and V.K. Krishnaman, the defense minister, had to be removed unceremoniously by Jawaharlal Nehru. So who did he look for to become his new defense minister, to reorganize India's defense and to modernize India's defense? He did not pick anybody from his cabinet. His cabinet had many titans of the freedom movement, etc., etc. He did not choose any of them. He invited B Chavan. B Chavan gave up his chief ministership, came to Delhi and became defense minister of India. He became the architect of modern Indian military. He came and quickly launched the first 5-year plan for India's defense modernization. He was subsequently elected from Nasik, unopposed, to Lok Sabha. What he did to modernize India's military is something that paid dividends in 1965, the war against Pakistan, when he was still the defense minister, and also carried on to help in 1971 as well, because he truly modernized India's military for those times at a very large scale. You can read more about him in 2 books written by 2 former Home Secretaries of India, both Maharashtra cadre IAS officers. R.D. Pradhan's book, Debacle to Revival. You know what debacle we are talking about and which revival. So R.D. Pradhan's book, Debacle to Revival, and again Madhav Godbole's book, Unfinished Innings. Both of these talk about Chavan fondly and tell us quite a bit of detail about what he did with defense. After defense in 1966, Mrs. Gandhi, Indira Gandhi now, because Shastri died in 1960s, he was appointed by Nehru. He carried on through Lal Bahadur Shastri's era as defense minister. Mrs. Gandhi in 1966, after Shastri's death, when she became prime minister, she made Chavan her home minister. In 1970, he became the finance minister, 70 to 74, if I may say so. Unfortunately, he presided over some of the worst decision making by India's finance ministry and on India's finance policies, economic policies. Although these might not have been all his policies, this was the peak of Indira Gandhi's left, quote-unquote, revolutionary phase. He stayed with Indira Gandhi steadfast during the emergency when he was made External Affairs Minister. That's the reason I said he has held all of what we would call CCS ministries now: Home, Defense, Finance, External Affairs. And then he became Deputy Prime Minister in sort of farcical circumstances. He stayed on with Mrs. Gandhi during the emergency. In 1977, he was one of the rare Congress MPs to win in Maharashtra, right? So he was popular still, so he won his election there. His constituents voted for him, although the Congress suffered very badly. Mrs. Gandhi's Congress suffered very badly in Maharashtra. He won his election, and in that parliament, 1977 parliament, he became the Congress party's leader of opposition. So he was still a leader of consequence. However, in 1978, the Congress party split yet again, and another breakaway faction emerged. That was Congress U, or Congress Ers. That was named after Devraj Ers, former chief minister of Karnataka. B Chavan, in his biggest political mistake, and he wasn't that old yet. He was 1913 born, so he was 1913 born. So in 1978, he was only 65. But he made a big mistake. He had some time left in politics. He left Mrs. Gandhi and he went to Congress Ers. That Congress Ers did very badly. in the 1980 election. In fact, he was only one of the 13 Congress U candidates to have won in that election. However, before that election, he also held his highest office, although I would say sort of infamously. That did not do any credit to him because he had broken away from Mrs. Gandhi. Briefly, a government had come up under Chaudhry Charan Singh, backed by the Congress from outside. It's the only government that never even faced its vote of confidence, because even before the vote of confidence, Congress party had withdrawn support, so that prime ministership or that government never passed a vote of confidence. It was in that government that Chavan agreed to become deputy prime minister and home minister, and that probably is the reason why his legacy got forgotten so easily. Later, subsequently, he rejoined the Congress party, but by this time he was a spent force, although only 69 years old. So Mrs. Gandhi gave him one lollipop, made him head of the 8th Finance Commission, and then he faded away and died not long after. Now this is 2024, next year will be 2025. So that will be the 60th anniversary of the 1965 war against Pakistan. So mark my words, BJP will start a set of celebrations. They will launch a set of events to celebrate the victory of 1965 and see what pride of place will they give B Chavan there. And that will be one more case of the Congress party seeing one of its own icons being taken away by the BJP just because they let them fade away from their own Congress party's institutional memory by, I would say, contemptuous neglect.